Next up, we have Duncan Buchanan from the Road Haulage Association. Duncan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I hope you can hear me okay.
Excellent. Take it away, Duncan.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time and for me to be able to speak to you here today. I'm going to be as brief as I possibly can, so I scripted myself a little bit more than I would normally. I want to actually explain where we are with road haulage as a result of the TCA and what the circumstances are for road haulage. Bearing in mind that road haulage is an essential part of your businesses. Without road haulage, you go nowhere. Without the ability to move the goods that you need to run the tours and events, you've got nothing. So I'll keep things as simple as possible. The TCA limits all commercial road haulage by UK companies in the EU and vice versa, EU companies in the UK. The restrictions apply to people operating their own vehicles as well as haulage companies that are carrying the goods on other people's behalf. So commercial road haulage embraces everyone. It includes carrying any goods used commercially. If anyone is getting paid, you're in scope of the restrictions for road haulage. So what are those limits? In simple terms, and this is dumbed down a little bit just for simplicity's sake, no more than 2 trips can be done in the EU by a UK road haulage operator that includes you as businesses, no more than 2 trips within the EU after you've arrived in the EU, and vice versa. They've got the same restriction here. That means that you can put on no more than 3 distinct events at different locations in the EU on any one trip. That's the same for EU coming in as well as for us going anywhere in Europe. There's some subtleties around that which are more restrictive, but you don't need to know too much about it. That's it in a simple terms. So how is that different from where we were before the TCA? I think this is important to understand. Firstly, international road haulage between EU member states, all EU member states, is completely unrestricted. So we had no limits on how many member states we could do on a tour. We could do as many individual countries as we wanted. There were limits of cabotage within those member states, but broadly speaking, you could actually do as many visits for as long as you like around the whole of EU. In addition, anyone carrying their own goods had no restrictions on them either. So if you're an orchestra carrying your own truck, you could do anything you like. So what do we need? Where do we need to go now? Well, firstly, the UK and the EU need to work with the TCA and exempt people carrying their own goods. So an orchestra can come into the UK and do 4 gigs and someone can do it the other way around. It doesn't affect the road haulage industry at all. It has no competitive impact at all. It is just purely a cultural event. The second thing is we need to develop an exemption for tours where the goods carried from an origin all the way around a tour and return to the country of origin are exempt from cabotage rules. That's what we need. But in the meantime, what you're faced with now is the reality that anyone doing more than 3 events in the EU will need to use EU hauliers. Any EU company that comes to the UK that is doing more than 3 events will have to use UK hauliers. Otherwise, you'll be breaking the law. So that's where we're at the moment. I hope I've been brief enough.
Thank you, Duncan. Thank you very much for that. This is something we certainly need further clarity on.